The mirror in the basement. In the old house where I grew up, there was a basement that always gave me the creeps. My parents said it was just for storing old things, but I felt like something was off. What scared me the most was a large mirror standing in the corner. It was covered in dust, but sometimes when I walked past, I noticed that the reflection wasn't me. It was someone else. The mirror had been in the house for as long as I could remember. My grandmother once told me it belonged to a distant relative who had disappeared under mysterious circumstances. She warned me never to touch it, but as a child, I was too curious to listen. One day, I wiped the dust off the surface, and for a moment, I thought I saw a shadow move behind me. I turned around, but there was nothing there. Years passed, and I tried to forget about the mirror, but one night, I heard strange noises coming from the basement. It was a faint whisper, as if someone was calling my name. I tried to ignore it, but the sound grew louder, more insistent. I grabbed a flashlight and decided to go down and check. The basement was cold and damp, the air thick with the smell of mildew. The mirror stood in the corner, its surface gleaming as if it had just been polished. I stepped closer, my heart pounding. In the reflection, I saw a figure in black standing behind me. I spun around, but no one was there. When I looked back at the mirror, the figure was closer, its hand reaching out toward me. I ran out of the basement and slammed the door shut. The next day, I told my best friend Mark about what had happened. He laughed and said it was just my imagination. To prove me wrong, he decided to go down to the basement himself. I waited upstairs, pacing back and forth. Minutes passed, and then I heard Mark scream. I rushed down the stairs and found him standing in front of the mirror, his face pale and twisted in terror. He couldn't speak, only pointing at the mirror. In the reflection, I saw the figure in black standing behind him, its hand already touching his shoulder. We ran out of the basement and never went back. But sometimes when I pass by the door, I hear that same whisper, and I know the mirror is still waiting. Years later, I returned to the house to clean it out before selling it. The mirror was gone, but in its place was a note written in shaky handwriting. "It's not over.